The other day, I was sitting in my office doing the worst part of my graphic design job, choosing a font. As I sat there scrolling through the billions of different options of typefaces and font families, I found myself questioning the reason why we're drawn to certain fonts. If these fonts became people and jumped out of the screen, who would they be? What would they wear to go to class? How would they take their coffee? And what music are they listening to in their headphones? More importantly, what does our favorite font actually say about us and our personalities? To determine the answer to my ever-pressing question and scratch my creative imagination, I have decided to bring these fonts to life by creating a mood board collage to encapsulate their personality. I'm going to be analyzing each font based on a few different categories, such as the overall vibe, what their major would be if they were in school, what extracurriculars they're involved in, what is their music taste, what is their fashion sense, and what are their hobbies and interests. So buckle in and let's see who these fonts really are. The first font we will be looking at is Times New Roman. Classic. When you look at Times New Roman, kind of gives me a businessy vibe, kind of classic. If Times New Roman was a person, I think they're pretty classy, put together. They've got that like sleek vibe to them. The color that I envision associated with Times New Roman is like a sage green. In undergrad, they studied English and then they have gone on to law school and become a lawyer. They were definitely involved in like the mock trial club. As far as music taste goes, I kind of feel like they would be rocking with like Lady Gaga. I envision them listening to The Weeknd, also like bumping Childish Gambino in their car. I envision Times New Roman as having like one of the slick back ponytails with like a braid, walking down the street in their heels, like being a boss, you know? Definitely dressing in like a business or business casual attire. They definitely have some designer clothes. I'm thinking like Louis Vuitton, because they come from money. They have rich parents who, for some reason, I'm envisioning owning a ski resort or something that she can like go to in the winter with her friends, like stay in a cabin. They just, they provide for her, let's just say. I mean, how else is she affording law school? I think she also, amongst the very business and professional lifestyle and interests that Times New Roman has, I think that she also has a soft side and a creative side, and I think that she connects to that through poetry, expressing her feelings and thoughts about the world in ways that like she might not really know how to otherwise, if that makes sense. But she has lots of savings. She's a hardworking girl. Even though her parents do provide for her well, she definitely wants to still be a strong, independent girly, which we love for her. Some other like just little silly quirky things that I added in about Times New Roman. I feel like she's really good at giving advice. Like she's a very solid friend. She's always there to help you out, give you advice, support you. She's also not a physical touch girly. Like she doesn't really know how to express her feelings. She expresses her love and her care in other ways, like giving good advice, and she's a great gift giver. I think she's very attentive to what her friends like and don't like, so that's something we love about her. Also, I think she wakes up like early. She's getting up at like 5 a.m. to go on a walk because it clears her mind. So good for her. Couldn't be me though, but that's Times New Roman. Overall, she's a very reliable friend. She's classy and she means business, but she knows how to be caring, work hard for herself. We love a self-motivated girly. Our next font is Anton. Anton is not a font that I love. It might be related to previous design trauma. We don't need to get into that. Anton as a font, it's bold. It's a bold font, kind of skinny, shows emphasis, it stands out. So as a person, I view Anton as being kind of like hyper pop, 2000s, like bratty aesthetic, very unique. Definitely stands out amongst the crowd. I think that Anton's colors are like a hot pink and a lime green. Brat Summer and like Barbie vibes mixed together. In undergrad, they are a fashion major and they want to go into personal styling and that outward appearance and the way others perceive them. Like that's something that they have control of and that's something that they feel comfortable with. Extracurriculars in school, I feel like they would be a soprano in the choir and they get like all the solos because they're just phenomenal. But they are humble, so like they don't brag about it or think they're super good, but like they are. In terms of music, I think that Anton listens to a lot of like Charlie XCX, Chappell Roan, and 100 Gex. Like fun, bumping. They definitely are wearing a lot of bold fashion pieces. I don't know what words to use exactly for that. I just feel like they are very secure in themselves and they express so much of themselves through their fashion. They are very willing to take risks and try new things. In their free time, their hobbies and interests, I feel like Anton's low-key a hater. Like, not that nice online. I think they're like spending their time writing hate comments on TikToks. You know what I mean? Like when you open the TikTok comment section and people are just being brutal for literally no reason. Yeah, those comments were left by Anton. I feel like Anton uses like this PMO comment a lot. I feel like they're also into sewing, hence like the fashion. I feel like sewing something they probably got into at a young age. I feel like they also love Just Dance. Like they love Just Dance. They love the Wii, like the nostalgic games. Delving a little bit more into their personality, I feel like Anton will definitely talk about you behind your back, likes to gossip. They're really forgetful too. They definitely have issues remembering things people tell them because there's just so much else going on. You know, there's other things to remember than like when my history test is, you know, if I'm Anton, other important things. Overall, Anton is kind of bold, kind of giving like a unique 2000s hyper pop, great at singing, artistic through fashion designing, kind of a hater, but overall means well. Maybe they'll grow out of it. Maybe they won't. Well, you know, you never know. You have to talk to them to find out. Our next font is Comic Sans. Quite a divisive font, really became a meme font, not really taken seriously anymore at all. So therefore, I feel like Comic Sans is just kind of silly goofy, you know, kind of ditzy. I think that like the font itself, not super sharp. It's just kind of like soft and like chill, you know, in terms of like a vibe check. They're kind of a little whimsical, a vibrant personality. I think that Comic Sans is like in touch with their inner child. I associate Comic Sans with bright primary colors, you know, like the bright blues, yellows, and reds. I think they just kind of bring that pop of color into people's lives. Fun and fresh. If Comic Sans was in college, I think that they would be majoring in art and minoring in graphic design. In terms of extracurriculars, I can envision Comic Sans being on like the soccer team. I don't know. I just feel like they'd be on the soccer team. I feel like they would not be a goalie, though. I feel like they'd be really bad at that. I don't know any other position in soccer, but they're one of the people on soccer that's not a goalie. The music that Comic Sans likes to listen to is kind of like indie pop, soft, chill. I'm thinking like Ricky Montgomery, MXM Tune, Lizzie McAlpine, like kind of like low-key, soft indie pop, you know? I just ran out of storage. I was yapping too much about Comic Sans. As one does. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about Comic Sans and their earbud preferences. I feel like Comic Sans only wears like the Apple earbuds that come with the phone, or they used to come with the phone, the wired ones, you know? In terms of hobbies and interests, Comic Sans really loves painting. They like to make handmade gifts and personalized things to make their friends feel loved. Very kind. We all need a Comic Sans kind of gifter in our lives. I also definitely picture Comic Sans like having a Squishmallow collection. They also watch Bluey. I feel like they have a Tumblr account where they create Bluey gifts. I feel like that has like a big following and there's like a little Bluey community. I picture Comic Sans wearing like fun clothes, you know, or like kidcore. I like that for Comic Sans. Sweaters with frogs on them. I don't know. I feel like they're a frog person. Comic Sans is also a songwriter and a singer and a songwriter. I think they're very good with words, dreamy lyricism, but they're really shy and they haven't put out any music. They will, in fact, write a song about you if you impact their life in any way, whether that's good or bad. Other personality traits, they definitely sleep through all their alarms. Like they just can't wake up. A chronic sleeper, chronic alarm misser. So they set like a billion. They love kids. They love playing with kids. They get along really well with kids. I envision them working at like a daycare part-time, like maybe on the weekends. They want to have kids of their own someday. The last thing that I feel is necessary to say about Comic Sans is that Comic Sans always has their nails painted, like some fun color or pattern. And they do cool nail art too, because they're like an artist. So they can like get in there with those skinny little brushes and paint on cute patterns and designs. Like that's super fun. So overall, Comic Sans is kind of just like a fun, childish young soul, caring for others, expressing their artistic visions and creative desires. Next, we have Montserrat. However you say that, Montserrat. I literally always spell that wrong and I say it wrong in my head. It was only the other day I found out, like actually really looked at it for the first time, the word like Montserrat, and I was like, oh, Anyway, I view this font as being kind of reliable. It's pretty standard font, minimalist. The vibe of Montserrat, if Montserrat was a person, I kind of feel like they go with the flow. They're not too uptight about adhering to a specific schedule. I feel like they're also pretty minimalist, like can fit in anywhere. Also, they're pretty versatile as well. In school, I think that Montserrat is a math major with a minor in biology. Want to do cool things, change the world, like figure out world peace through numbers. I don't know. Extracurricular activities. Montserrat is a member of the feminism club at their school. Preach. They like take notes and help plan events and stuff. Montserrat is also a violinist. They are a violinist in the orchestra. Like they're really good at it. They've been doing it since they were a kid. So they make money on the side, like on the weekends or after school, tutoring violin. They are very busy because they are also on the cross country team. They love running. I feel like they're just kind of average at it. Like they're not really like exceptional, but they're not like sucky. They're living their best life. I feel like they're just kind of listening to whatever the top hits are. Like I feel like if you ask them what their favorite artist is, they're like, I don't know, I just listen to everything. Like I just listen to what's on the radio, whatever. You know, not super diehard for anybody. In terms of their fashion, I envision them wearing a lot of neutral colors, minimalist, not a lot of patterns, not boring, but like not super bold, definitely not an Anton, definitely not a Comic Sans. I think they're definitely like a yoga and Pilates kind of person. I think they also collect jelly cats. They want like the cute ones, like the aesthetically pleasing ones. They're also like a vlogger low-key. Like they don't post that often. I feel like they post like maybe twice a month, but they just do like cute little fun vlogs with their friends and like little trips they take. They really treasure documenting those memories. Other little tidbits about their personality, I feel like they have a billion tubes of Burt's Bees. They love Burt's Bees chapstick. Their favorite flavor is the cherry one. I envision Montserrat also with like the clean girl aesthetic, healthy eating, like healthy lifestyle, drinking lots of water. I feel like they are a straight A student. I think they're really studious, take it very seriously. I think they're also a perfectionist to a fault, and they feel like they're never good enough. I think that's something that they need to work on and do some reflecting. Montserrat, you are enough. So overall, Montserrat kind of has this like standard minimalist, basic kind of aesthetic, very reliable, very smart, wants to make change in the world, likes to take care of themselves physically, but needs to take care of their mind a little better. Our last final font is Horizon. When I look at the font Horizon, it's kind of short, kind of wide. It's a little aggressive. It's taking up a lot of room on the page. As a person, I feel like Horizon kind of gives me that like pop punk emo vibe, like the alternative, kind of mysterious. I associate Horizon with the color red. I feel like in school, they started out as a freshman as a biology major, got through freshman year, hated it, dropped out for a little bit, like took like a gap year or two, and then they came back and found their true passion, which is literature, and they were able to eventually graduate with a bachelor's in literature, kind of wanting to write a book someday. Extracurricular activities, I think Horizon is a trumpet player in the marching band specifically. They hate concert band though, so don't ask them to play in the concert band. I feel like they work in the record store part-time, and they like give really good recommendations to customers. They just know everything about music. Some of their favorite musical artists are like Green Day, Blink-182. They love them. Some 21 Pilots, like Panic at the Disco, Avril Lavigne, like that kind of jam. They like VHS tapes. They have like a little Walkman that they listen to. I think they like that like retro, old school style. Some other hobbies and interests, I feel like they love to bake. And specifically, they have like a mean chocolate chip, like they can bake a chocolate chip cookie. If you want chocolate chip cookies, go to Horizon's house because they make such good chocolate chip cookies. I can also envision Horizon being a crazy Twitter stan account, part of that stan culture, reposting crazy memes, reacting to wild things. I think that is just everything. They're just popping off on there. And I envision them also playing the electric guitar. And they like to do covers of like the songs they like and post them on YouTube. And they kind of get a good amount of traction. Some other personality characteristics about Horizon. I can envision Horizon really valuing time with friends late at night. I feel like they're like a night owl and they get up to some mischief and some trouble at night, but they have a lot of fun. They're just some kids being kids. Horizon always has headphones on, walking around. They're always listening to something. Like don't talk to them if their headphones are on, so don't talk to them ever. Their hair is definitely dyed. I'm definitely getting like red streaks or something like that they have to touch up every month, and like they hate spending money on it, but they feel like they won't be cool anymore if they stop dyeing their hair. Like it won't give them that personality edge. I feel like they're a jack of all trades. Like they're just kind of talented at everything, like even things you wouldn't expect. Very confident, even if they don't appear to be at first. Like you get to know them and they're like, ooh, Horizon got a little bite. They got confidence. They know what's up. In terms of style, I feel like they wear baggy clothes, kind of dark colors, chunky sweaters, and having like a shaggy haircut of some sort. So yeah, overall, Horizon being kind of alternative, a little edgy, very talented, big nostalgia person, and just confident, kind of knows what they want. Like they had to take that time out of school to figure out what they want, but now that they know, like they know. That's Horizon. So that is my full analysis of these fonts as people. I had a lot of fun being imaginative and coming up with a bunch of these oddly specific backstories. I think it is fun coming up with like vibes to embody inanimate objects or inanimate things like words and the way words look. Maybe this will change the way I use fonts in the future. Let me know which font that you feel like you relate to the most, and let me know if you agree or disagree on any of the personalities and hobbies that I assigned to the fonts that I took a look at today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to be kind and stay creative.